comfortably. I'm going to bring that somewhere reasonably around, and this is totally arbitrary. This is where you get creative with your settings. You just try some things, see what looks right. So then I might just bring my environment brightness down a little bit, and I can actually use the arrow keys for that. You can feel that makes it a little more subtle. You can probably tell from this lighting environment, we have a lot of light coming in from the right side. And I rotated the environment such that it matches the backplate. So we have lighting coming from the right, casting a nice shadow into the car off to the left. And that's what we're looking for. And so again, we can just move our camera around here to get it to match, and that looks pretty cool. Now, I can load in my own custom backplate that we've made out of our actual parking garage outside the office here. I can do that just by going to Environment here in the Options tab, double-click, go and find my environment, Rooftop, HDR. Now, you're going to see the lighting change on the car, but it doesn't change the background. This goes to show that you can have a backplate, and they don't have to perfectly match the environment. You can have any sort of lighting you want, any sort of backplate you want. But just before we get into adjusting this environment, we're going to set the settings back to 1 and 1, just so we're at the base there for that. Now with backplate, I'm going to do the same thing. I can actually go over to my desktop, and I think I have my backplate in here. Looks that way. Okay, that's good. So I have a backplate for this. So I'm going to click Load here and navigate to that backplate, which is here in the backplates, or rather roof 1, and load that in. Nice high-res image, and so it takes just a moment to load, but once it's in, you can see that's starting to match our lighting nicely. To really show you, I'm just going to click this over to a perfect metal, basically a perfect chrome. Right now it's all green. Let's get rid of that. So with a nice chrome Lamborghini here, you can really tell that we're in this lighting environment. And what I need to do is take a look at my backplate. I can see where the shadows are coming from, so I need to rotate this environment. Just going to use Control left click, and rotate it around so that I get my reflections and lighting coming in from the right area. Now obviously this building here is a nice reference point for that. So if I press the B key on the keyboard, you can take a look at where that building is. I actually don't have it matched up perfectly. So if I just Control left mouse button, I'm going to put the building about right there, and that's going to match up nicely. So you will have to understand that the HDR lighting environment isn't a perfect replication of your backplate. You're not always going to have the perfect reflections in the exact right locations, but more often than not, it's going to be pretty close. So I'm going to use my camera here to adjust my car's location, and basically I'm painting the camera in and out, and that effectively changes the scale of my model relative to the backplate. Hopefully that makes sense there, because that's kind of the key to this. But you can tell you're catching a reflection of the building here from the environment in the hood of the car here. And that's great. It looks very nice. And we can actually go in and adjust this environment even more by going to the Environment Options tab. One of the nice things you can do is actually change the height of the environment. If I bring the height down, you'll see what effect that has. You're changing what you see in the car's reflections. I'm going to move this up here so we can see the effects a little better. If you bring it up, you can see you're getting more reflection of the ground in the car because there's more ground there. In this case, it's actually pretty much fine at 0, so I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to change this back to a paint, and I'll show you how to make a quick paint. Metal, change to metallic paint, set your base color. Let's just do a nice blue, maybe, like a deep blue. Here's your base color. And then we'll set the metal color here and get our settings in line. That looks nice there. And bring more saturation into it. That could work. Not entirely happy with it, but that could work. I might even just bring this back to sort of dark. There we go. We'll bring the blue color in using metal. That's going to look pretty cool. Okay. So that looks pretty nice there. And one thing you can do, you can control the clear coat level by going to your OR here and increasing it. You can see you get more reflection. You can really exaggerate the clear coat of a car that way. And we have a lot of other materials on this car that are actually creating a little bit too bright of an effect. So if I just double click on some of these surfaces, that's our paint, but this little chrome should be a little thing to click on here. Let's just move my camera in a little bit. Let's see. That's actually just convergence of light there, so that's nice. I might double click on my rims here and darken them a little bit. So we have a nice dark rim, and we can increase the roughness on them. And that roughness is going to soften the harshness of the environment's sun. But that is what we want in this scenario. We want that harsh sun because that's what was happening that day. We had a nice bright, you can see perfect clear Southern California sky there, which is maybe this is what it was a week ago, and this week we have thunderstorms. So that's what it was then. And basically, we can go in and adjust whatever we need to do. We can add roughness to any of these materials. We can change up materials. We can apply new ones. You can take a look at anything here. And it really does do a good job. You can just bring this down in color a little bit and start to look like a real photo. Another thing you could do certainly is take this car, rotate it around, and put it in a parking spot. Very simple to do. And once we've done that, we need to just rotate the lighting so that shadow actually shines on the correct side of the car, right about there. And what you might notice in this scene, actually, is something that's also new for KeyShot, the ability to adjust the color of a shadow. So I'm just going to make the car a little bit abnormally large so we can really see that shadow. And we have a perfect reference for what kind of shadows we had that day. Right here on the wall, you can see a very clear blue tint to it. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to show. So in order to get that blue tint, all I have to do is go to my shadow color and increase the color. I'm just going to set to a blue to bring this up. Of course, I'm never going to go up into these ranges because that's going to basically cancel out my shadow. I'm just going to use a nice blue like that, and I can add more saturation if wanted. That's just match that to the environment. That starts to look pretty cool. So that's about it for KeyShot. There's certainly more to do and lots of cool tricks that you can learn. But that's really the basics of it. And I hope you could see that you really can do a quick image just to see what your product looks like in a matter of a couple minutes. So we're going to take a look at the questions and try to help you out with that. Thanks, everyone.